Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Token Talks. Today we have a really special guest, Marcin from Linton Home Construction.
Hello everyone, my name is Marcin Rockwell. I'm from Linton Home Construction and I'm the owner of the company. So good to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. And today this is our live on location. Funny enough, the live on location is in my kitchen that was recently done, parts of it by Marcin himself. So thank you so much for not only being on the show with us, but to do this kitchen. I'm very, very happy with all the work that was done. I've actually known his wife for some time now. She actually helped Token in the very beginning when they were in their startup phase. And we ended up going for beers at Descendants and had some great conversations. And next thing you know, here you are in
working
my
on
house.
a kitchen.
Exactly, right?
Which is a privilege. It's always a privilege to work on somebody's homes because people always want to, they want to find somebody they can trust to work on their house. So that's a privilege for you to allow me to work on your house.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think going right into that topic, that whole trust factor, I feel like when I welcomed you into our home, that was the immediate thing that I felt right away. And I know that from previous contractors that I've either talked to or had over at this house just to get quotes, that was the one thing that I couldn't connect with. And I fear because not only do I have a dog in the house, but I have my valuables here, and that's something that you want to make sure that when the person who's coming here, you want to trust them and you want to know that they're doing the best job that they could possibly do. First question for you is, so when you started your company, when did you start the company and why did you start this company?
Well, with the company, the way it was started, had kind of a soft start. It was a lot of my own renovations first. Ever since I was little, I always helped my parents around the house. So I naturally fell into go fix that, go fix this. And then I started doing a little bit more for friends and family too. So I say the real beginning of the company would be 2009 when we bought our second home. Okay. It was pretty much a fixer-upper. So there was a lot of work that needed to be done on the house. So, but I still treated it as a part-time. So running a company, having a full-time job too, just I guess a beginnings of many of the companies where the owners have full-time job to support the family and then starting a side gig on the side and just trying to make it take off, but never really got serious about it until pretty much a few years ago. I did work for some commercial operations in construction. I like that aspect of that too, but it's different than residential. But I think it actually gave me a lot of experience of what it's like to work in commercial construction, what it's like to work in residential. And they both have their advantages and disadvantages, obviously. But I like working on residential due to the simple fact that you work for the homeowner at the end of the job that's done. You see that satisfaction right from that person that hired you to do the job. And obviously, if you do a good job, it just shows, and people are happy. So, yeah.
You're absolutely right about that. When I work in the kitchen now, I love to cook, I love to bake, and before I felt like the kitchen was usable, but it wasn't enjoyable. And now just these final little touches just really, really make the kitchen feel so much more, I don't know, homey, I would say, and more customized to what I like. So when you're working with clients, do you find that you're helping them generate ideas, or if they're suggesting things, do you help kind of navigate? Because I know that you kind of gave us suggestions of, hey, I know you want this concept, but why don't we do it this way where it's a little bit more approachable, or the logistics. What's your best recommendation for homeowners for that?
Well, the thing is working with the homeowner is special in a way that everyone's got their own idea of how they would like the space to look. Plus, we live in really fortunate times where you can go on the internet, something like 20, 30 years ago. I mean, unless you opened a catalog or a magazine, and there was only a few ideas there. Now there's so many ideas out there on the web. You have websites like House or even Pinterest. If you subscribe, and you can pin your own ideas about how you want your backyard or kitchen look, right? Which in turn also creates a little bit of too much choice is not good too, what I'm trying to say too, right? Yeah. So, but the things what I try to do, when people tell me what they would like to have done, I usually make suggestions in not as much as maybe the style of how they want things, but also more in logistics of like whether something is gonna work with like say is this backsplash gonna work with this? So I guess it's a bit of a design too, but there's limitations on how much you can do. Like say somebody wants to put a big tile on a very wavy wall.
Yep.
Like, does that make sense? Well, then you have to realize that maybe the wall needs to be fixed before you can put a large size tile on the wall to make it look even, right? So just things like that. There's like a lot of behind the scenes going on that needs to be considered. It's not just, they say money is in the details, but to get you those details, there's a lot that goes on before that. So I think I try to kind of balance with the homeowner, on how much I give advice on whole design and the logistics of building something. If that answers the questions,
yeah,
I guess. So.
Definitely. I know there's a lot of people who, are either in construction or want to be in construction, or even just homeowners who are looking to get renovations done in their homes. So let's start up from the people who are wanting to get into a similar industry, or just even in the trades industry. What do you recommend as a entrepreneur who's ready to get into the game? What's those first couple of things that you would really think that are important?
I think it's important to get some, obviously, but that goes for any industry. I think it's just getting a little bit of experience working for somebody too, to get an idea of what it takes, because and you hear it many times over and over. Everybody would love to work for themselves. That's why I think you see a lot more people working for themselves nowadays too. But it's not all that glory and definitely the money is not there at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to get into construction, like I said, just get into get a lot more exposure to the industry. Construction is a very huge industry, and then there's so many different things you can do in it. So you could be just specialized, be an electrician, or be a plumber, or be somebody that just does cabinets or just countertops. So, or you want to be a general contractor that puts it all together and just works with different trades. So there's so much you can do, but it's good to work for somebody too, because before you make an investment of tools and effort and your time, it's something maybe that you don't particularly like doing in that particular part of industry, right? It might be something else that you like. So I think that would be the big one. And then at the end, it's just like, again, like any business, just having the resilience to stay with it, because there's going to be downs and there's going to be ups.
Yeah.
And save your money, because whenever you can, don't spend it on frivolous things, because it's there's times when there's less work and you need to pay your bills still. So I think that's the biggest takeaways. If you can go through all that, then I think you'll be successful. Yeah.
And let's talk about homeowners. So when someone's looking to hire a general contractor or a specialist within one of the fields, what do you recommend that homeowners should do to prep their home? And what do you think they should be doing while the general contractor is there?
Well, it depends on the size of the renovation that you're doing too. Obviously, like smaller projects, they're not too intrusive to the homeowner's life, right? So where the job can be done like quickly in a matter of a day or two. But on the bigger projects, hiring a contractor, there's a lot of word of mouth is actually the best, because there is a lot of stuff that's out there where anybody can just really put stuff up there and say, this is how it looks. And in the picture, everything usually looks a little bit better. But if you do come over to somebody's house and actually see the work and the quality of it, then it's like, wow, this was really nicely done. Who did this for you? So the word of mouth spreads. And I think that would be like the most reliable way of finding a contractor, because you also get not only like the quality of work, but how was it working with that person. Yeah, because I mean, somebody can do a job really, really good, but it was a pain in the neck to deal with that person, right? Yep. So and as a homeowner, I think I know myself too, like if I have to hire somebody to do any work, I also want to know how it is dealing with that person, right? Because the job was great, but it really didn't feel right. So. So that's one thing, and I mean, depending on the size of the construction again too, if you're doing a whole bathroom remodel, it's good to have another bathroom, because if you don't have another bathroom in a house, then as you can imagine, everything is gutted for depending on the size of the bathroom too, maybe a week or 2 or 3. So it's probably a good idea to find like alternate arrangements to live somewhere for those 2 or 3 weeks. And that actually speeds up the process too, because you're not in a way of the construction company trying to get this done and fixed as soon as they can.
I guess like if you live in a condo with 1 bathroom and you're getting that renovated, then I'd recommend going to your gym and showering there, or go to a McDonald's and you can use the facilities there.
Or go on a vacation for 2 weeks.
Just go away for a little bit.
And then when I'm back, it's all done, and here's your house back, and look at my beautiful bathroom. So.
Yeah, I'm going away for 2 weeks this Friday. Maybe I should have got you to come at those points. That would have been a better idea.
There you go.
Right, like here's the key to my house. Good luck.
Yeah,
right?
That's it.
But
hopefully the house will still be here when I'm back.
I hope so too, right? You feel the water,
the
plants, that's all I care about. So when it comes to running the business, like, do you have any tips for anyone whether you're in the construction company or like you're wanting to do something within, again, a construction company, specifically home renovations? Let's keep it kind of narrow here. Like, what do you recommend they do when they approach the homeowner about prep time, or about like you mentioned something to me about cost and how important it is for you to be upfront about these costs. I know that's one really great quality about you, is that you told me exactly what to expect, and you didn't give me any surprises at the end. You told me this is what's going to happen, and if there was any changes or anything that you thought could be added, you would talk to me about it first. What is that tip that you would recommend to other contractors to really narrow down, or for homeowners to really ask prior to these contractors?
Well, the big one is with construction. Again, it depends how deep you go into renovation, because if you have to tear the state of the house too when you come in, you can sometimes tell that this is a pretty new build. There might not be a lot of surprises, and then with an older home that was maybe renovated by previous homeowners a few times, there is a chance that there could be more issues once you start opening up the walls. So you got to be upfront with that with the client and tell them that this is what I'm quoting you, but it's based on the premise that once we open up the wall, there's no major issues. And you always want to kind of prep the homeowner that you need to have a little bit of extra money saved for those unexpected expenses, and that way there's no surprises. And also, when you open up things and as they happen, I think it's very important to the communication is really the key. It's important to communicate and not assume that while it's open, you can see that there's something is going on. Homeowners should know. A lot of the times, the homeowners have no idea what's going on until you tell them, and they assume that you're the professional, you know everything, but you as a professional should not assume that they will know. So again, it's the communication is the key, explaining the options, because usually to a solution to anything that happens during construction, there should be few options, right? You can either do this, you can either do that, but this will cost you this much, this will cost you that much. So it's the communication is the key, and just communicating with the clients and letting them know as they go. But also, as a construction company, I try to be as accurate as I can with the quotes. Because obviously you don't want to get a job for the purpose of getting a job because you quote at a good price, and then surprise your clients with this is going to cost this much, this is going to cost this much. So I think, and that comes down to now, I think, honesty in a business, which is a big one, because I believe that we're all people, and we're all pretty smart people, especially when it comes to where our money is going. So if you gave somebody a quote, I understand being a little bit off, or the surprises that come in and make the project go over a little bit. But just keeping your costs transparent and quoting properly, and I think it's a success for both the homeowner and me as a company, because I made enough money to stay in the business and grow the business that I can provide a great service for somebody else again. So
definitely. And I think there's one question out there that I've had a few people ask me, and it's, what do I ask my contractor prior to hiring for a renovation job?
Well, definitely you wanna get to know them a little bit better. So ask them about the projects they have done. Maybe ask for references. Definitely, at least three, I would say. Call the people and ask them how happy they were. I know it might seem a little bit awkward, but just do your due diligence so that you know that the person you're getting to work on your house is reliable, essentially. And just talk about all the details, the whole contract, like how much money do I have to put up front? Are there stages to the payments that need to be done? So I think the financial part and the contract part of the or before the whole renovation starts, it's important. Even though they might seem like an awkward questions and some people are not comfortable talking about the money, they just like to see the bill, this is how much I have to pay. But there's more details to that, because if it's a bigger renovation, there's obviously like, I'm not gonna work from 0 to 50,000 now, and then I have to write one big check, but there's stages to the renovation. So I think those are very important to ask and find out beforehand, because once the renovation starts and somebody is in your house, working on your house, it and things don't go right, then it's much harder to deal with this.
Definitely.
Right? So if that answers the questions.
Yeah. And I think just one last question here. Let's talk about like materials. Do you recommend the client purchase the material, or do you recommend that you purchase the material and the client reimburses you? What would you think is your preference when it comes to this?
I think the preference is my personal is to just discuss what type of materials would like to be used. I know, like say in your particular home here, when we were doing this, you were set on a certain lighting that you wanted to use for the countertop. So those are like, and you did show me, oh, this is what I'm gonna purchase, and have a look at this, and what do you think? So you actually asked about my opinion.
Yeah.
So when I looked at that, I was like, wow, this light is really easy to install. It's easy to mount. Electrical connection is very simple. It's like actually putting a light up on your ceiling.
Yep.
So pretty much anybody can do it. So that was really easy, and that works great when the owner is set on getting a particular item for themselves. But when it comes to other stuff, it's good to just talk to the owner and say, okay, we're gonna like say install window casing or window trim and door trim, and those are the options that you might have. Which one would you like to go with? Like I know here I brought like 2 samples of different finishes, and you were able to pick which one you liked better for the finish. So I think that worked well, but personally, it's a combination of what the owner would like to get and what I should get myself too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that was good, because when you brought in those 2 samples, the one I originally picked wasn't what I ended up going with.
Exactly.
I think this one was the Modern Edge.
Yeah, that's Modern Edge.
And I love the Modern Edge way more, and I didn't know that even existed, but it was nice to have your opinion. And what I enjoyed about having you here is not only the trust and just like the amazing friendship that we've created, is the fact that like you gave me options, but you still let it be my idea, right? Like you said, okay, like I think your idea is good, but here let's fix a few things, or why don't we do it like this? And just from the backsplash going to the fridge, I think that was a great idea that we did a cutoff there versus trying to continue it like my original idea. It's nice to have that professional opinion, because my professionalism isn't towards home renovation. Sure, I love kitchen design, and I've been obsessed with it for a while, but from the logistic point of view, I don't know those little small details, just as you wouldn't know about video details. Like those are small little things that no one else notices but yourself. Yeah. And that's what makes that job so beautiful in the end.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like I said, at the end of the day, like the homes are as unique as us, right? And then also people that live in those homes want to make it fit their personality and lifestyle. So I think it's important to give people options, because like you said, a lot of the times somebody might think that this will look good in my room, and once you put it up there on a wall and you try it, and it's like, it doesn't quite look right. But if you have another option there in place, it's like, you know what, actually this looks better, let's go with that. So I think that works great that way. Yeah, I had another thing that I was just thinking about, but kind of skipped my mind. So yeah,
That's okay.
yeah,
Small tip, and I think you should, from a good point of view, make sure you give them coffee in the morning, because it's highly recommended.
If they're coffee drinkers.
If not tea or water or whatever beverage, it honestly, I think you get better work in the end.
Yeah.
And source good coffee.
Yeah.
Get good coffee.
Appreciation helps to appreciation helps motivation. So
exactly, right.
It
Keep
even
them
rhymes,
fed,
so.
right. Sometimes you'll forget to eat yourself. But I think it's great, and I'm really happy that you were a part of this experience and that you got to make this a reality for us. Like I'm super excited, and there's so much more yet to do in this house.
Yeah.
It's like a never-ending thing. I feel as soon as you came in, the very first day he came in, I was like, oh, I want you to just do this. And then I think by the end of it, I was just like, okay, there's like 20 other things that I kind of need renovations.
So it can get like that. I get
It's
that. I get that a lot.
a never-ending cycle, right?
Yeah. Even at home too, with my wife, it's like, once you are done this, I'm not done with this yet, but maybe we can do this here. I'm gonna come over. I want to show you something. So.
Oh, that's the worst words. Come over here. I want to show you something.
Yeah, so it's good to be able to do those things, but when you come home, it's like feels like you're bringing work home again.
Yeah.
So no, but it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah.
Well,
I really like doing this, so
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah, and honestly, like I can tell, like your work is outstanding. Like your quality is on top.
You. Yeah.
Your personality is great, and you're
I
fun to
try.
have beers with, right? Like it's good, right? Like it's good to find people who you can trust and do quality work. What I find incredible is that you're passionate about what you do, and it's hard to find people who love what they do without having to be forced to do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I found that I've tried a few things in my life, but I constantly, no matter what I do, somehow I end up hovering around, like doing something with my hands and in the construction field. So I think that's what I really enjoy. I'm passionate about. And it gives me a lot of options to do a lot of things and meet people like yourself. So
exactly.
Yeah. So this is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for coming onto one of our podcasts, our Token Talks.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing
That's
everything
my
in
first,
our house.
yeah.
Right. So. But we'll definitely post the link to his website, or soon to be website.
Yes.
And to his social media platform, as well as all of his contact information. I highly recommend Marcin anytime for any of your home renovation needs. Thank you again, and we'll see you on the next Token Talk.
Have a good one.